Jeffrey, what was it like preparing for Hurricane Ian?
Well, we knew in advance that it was going to be potentially a Category 4 or so storm. So the forewarning is good because it does give you time to fill up your gas cans, and we had to get a generator because we didn't have one. So it took me a couple of days to find one, and right before the day before the hurricane, I guess we went and got it. It happened to be a brand new one that was sitting in somebody's barn that they never used. They never put gas or oil in it. So we were very fortunate to get that at a reasonable price because whenever there's a storm, prices tend to go up until they start being threatened with price gouging, and then everybody gets their act together and so forth. So it's a good generator. Yeah, we were able to utilize it on a daily basis. We run it for a few hours every day, 4 or 5 hours, then shut it off for 4 or 5 hours and turn it back on again. It keeps the refrigerators cold and the freezers going and all like that. And we can charge all our phones and all our stuff. So it's without a generator, I would imagine it would be very tough.
Yes.
So we're thankful for that. We were able to get gas. The lines are quite long, and you have to have a lot of patience, but it is available. And each day that passes, there's more and more stores open. Some gas stations don't have generators to run their pumps, so they rely on the electric company. So in certain areas, the electric grid is really in bad shape. So those areas are going to take a lot longer, 2 or 3 weeks maybe, perhaps, to get going. So it seems to be fairly organized and orchestrated. They've sent teams and teams of linemen and emergency personnel, rescue people, police, fire, you name it.
So day 2, after you assess everything, now you have to get the generator going,
Right.
And find a way to cook and look after everyone.
Right.
And then we find out that friends need some assistance.
Yeah, some of the people just are not prepared, or they lived in trailer homes and that type of thing, that some of them really took a beating.
Yeah.
And then anybody that was in the tidal area, the coastal area, but most of them suffered a lot of damage because of the amount of rain and the amount of high tide that came in with the storm. So there's a lot of challenges out there, and a lot of situations that vary greatly, but for the most part, people managed to hang on with a little help from friends and family and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been doubled up. They're living with family or friends, or someone's taken them in, those that have been displaced and so forth. And it's human nature, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and that phrase has been around for years, and it's very true. I mean, people will become giving and caring, and even when you think that maybe they're really not that type of person, but when it's tough, things are tough, everybody kind of pitches in and gets it done.
Okay.
Especially south of here, where Captiva and Sanibel Island are, there's houses literally gone. Some still underwater. There's people missing. There's huge Fort Myers Beach is you can't even recognize it from what it was before the storm. So we're glad we're not in that bad a shape for the shape we're in. And even around us, there's some houses that are just destroyed. Mm-hmm. We've seen houses with power lines and telephone poles sitting on top of them and trees on top of them, and it's just it's horrendous. But we're very thankful that we've been able to function fairly normally, and everybody's safe. I mean, we have water now. That took 3 or 4 days to get going, but we finally got water, so that's a big convenience factor for us.
Yeah, that was the most hard. What would you say? Do you feel like we were prepared enough? Like, first they said it was going to go into Tampa,
right?
And then they said it was gonna. So when we thought it was going into Tampa, we had to make a decision about whether to stay or leave.
Correct.
And in the past, our kids have had to leave when they've been evacuated, and they ended up stranded with nowhere to go.
In worse shape. They
Yeah.
actually ended up in worse shape. They should have just stayed at the house.
The hotel they finally got was like triple the price. They had no money. The fuel tanks were shut down because they turned them off. So they ended up in dire situation, and you just never know, because at first it was coming towards us, then it was going to Tampa, and then so you don't know where to go, because at any minute it can change course, even though they have these lanes that they think that's going to be in, and the cone and all that. It went from Tampa and it headed right for us.
Yes, it did change course, and it intensified at the same time. So it's hard to know where a hurricane's going to go. It's not exactly predetermined, so it's a lot of guesswork on the part of the experts or whatever. But in any case, I'm glad that we stayed where we are, because there's 6 of us, and I don't know where we would have gone that would have been any better than there. I mean, some people have actually left and found, that where they went to is not in that good a shape. So, that you never know if what you do is right. All you can do is listen to your gut feeling and try to do and make decisions based on what knowledge you have. Simple as that.
So we had not that much destruction, but each day we had to face our challenges. So the first day, you're just grateful that you're alive. And then you look around and you see the house is still standing. You're grateful for that. But then each day you have to figure out, the first day is cleanup and assessment. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. There's an order of things that you kind of do naturally, and clean up and assess the damage. That's the first thing, to see what you got, how bad it is, and then if you got anything that's really needs a repair or whatever, or some help, then that's the first thing you do, and then you can clean up all the debris and so forth, and get it away from the house and the windows and all like that. So to get your generator going and make sure you're not going to short circuit yourself. Don't stand in a puddle for sure, when you're messing with a generator, because they've got a lot of power. So, and generators are the source of a lot of injuries in past storms. So, use caution, common sense.
So do you think that we had the right supplies? We did get cash out. That was good, because that was the only thing that people were taking was cash. So
right, the credit card machines in most places are down. There's some now that are up. They got up and running, of course, but in the first couple of days was nothing but cash. So in some of the ATMs didn't work because they didn't have any power.
And wouldn't you say, like, in the first day you felt kind of abandoned, like you didn't really see much happening around you, even though that they were doing the same thing as far as assessing and all that? You just kind of felt like you were on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, well, the first couple of days is kind of, you're trying to get over the shock of the whole thing, basically. And when you do go out of your house to go down the street or whatever, you're driving around street signs and trees laying across the road, and they sit there. No one's come out to help clear the roads, because, let's face it, anybody that works for the county or works for these companies, they got their own house and their own family to take care of. So it takes everybody a couple of days before they can actually get in motion to get some stuff done. So
wouldn't you would recommend definitely people be able to have enough supplies for 3 days of water? We found that the water went very quickly.
Yes, we did. We did. We should have had more water.
Yeah.
But we managed with what we had, and now that the water's come back on, we can boil it to make sure that it's bacteria free. Mm-hmm. And a cold shower is better than no shower at all, believe me. So we're thrilled to be able to have that convenience.
So when you've been able to hook up the generator, you've been able to make me coffee and tea.
Yes, yeah.
That's so sweet of you.
Well, it's actually easier. I take the coffee pot out to the generator and plug it directly in the generator, and it heats up so quick. It's amazing how fast it heats up with the generator. Generator's got a lot of power, and of course a little short cord doesn't lose much power.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's kind of comical, but I'm out there with a flashlight this morning and yesterday both, heating up the water for tea and making coffee. So, but it's working out. I mean,
Yeah.
what else you got to do?
Yeah. Well, it makes you have a little sense of normalcy.
Well, we don't sleep good. I
No.
mean, we just, it's just,
I know.
you sleep 3 or 4 hours. To get 3 or 4 hours of straight sleep, you've done well. I know. Last night I probably got about 4 hours. I was up at about 2. I think we went to bed around 9:30 or 10 or whatever it was. And so yeah, I got maybe 4 hours, and then I'm up. So what are you gonna do? It's not like you can go watch TV or
Can't even read a book because there's no lights.
We put the candles on and we have flashlights and all like that, but we don't have the internet. That hasn't been restored yet, so you can't just jump on the computer and curl up in a chair somewhere and kick back. It's just there's nothing to do. So I know one thing. I haven't seen the stars in the sky for a long time because of the cloudiness. And after this hurricane, you can see every star in the sky. It's incredible. What a sight.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah, really awesome.
Yep.
I guess is the word of the day.
Hopefully the gas in the truck will last. Well, here we are in line. This is all to get gas.
Yep. I can't see who's doing what
I
here.
know, me either.
They're all lined up for the gas station. Which means it's going to be all jammed up here.
Yeah. Some lights are on and some lights are off. Well, that can be a little confusing. Yep. Today we have blinking lights. That'll be helpful.